Welcome to A.U.M. I'm your host, Callie Fedosinko of Callie Collective. We are a digital marketing agency designed to build relationships between financial advisors and their target audience through data-driven content, websites, and advertising. Our episode today is brought to you by the FPA, otherwise known as the Financial Planning Association. The FBA is a great resource center providing education, support, and networking opportunities for financial advisors like you. They also offer an amazing retreat that I'm currently traveling to attend, which means that this episode is recorded live. It's just like being live, meaning it's all raw and unedited video, but we won't be able to respond to your questions in real time, at least not by video. But please continue to ask questions in the comments and we will respond via text. In our episode today, we're talking with Alana Kohl of AdvisorPR about some of the public relations strategies she's seen work best over her 20-year career. PR is a topic, or public relations, is a topic that we visit pretty consistently on A.U.M. Today, we're going to be focusing on what you can do to maximize existing PR and how those efforts can help you get even more earned media. So, welcome, Alana. I'm so happy to have you here.
I am so happy to be here.
Yes.
I cannot see you again for some reason. Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm in. Yes. All right, thank you. This is fancy.
So, yeah, fancy.
Great to be here.
Okay, so Alana, first question. What is earned media?
Earned media, it wasn't called earned media when I started this long time ago, but earned media is essentially what the name suggests. It's getting exposure, coverage based off of like your knowledge, your expertise, your contributions, whatever it may be. You essentially earned that third-party coverage of that topic.
I see. Okay, that makes sense. How, I guess, is earned media just part of public relations or is it just synonymous?
I think it's been more of an evolution of public relations. So earned media, I think PR working with the media and getting, the features within that third-party outlet is certainly a big component of earned media. But you can also earn media through awards, right? So you're being acknowledged for a contribution, speaking opportunities. Somebody thinks that you have value to share, with their audiences. Of course, client testimonials. That's another thing too. So these are things you can't buy necessarily. Yeah. These are things that you earn based off of, your own accomplishments.
Okay.
Yep.
How have you seen earned media and public relations take advisors to the next level?
I think it plays a critical part in establishing the credibility, right? So you can tell me anything you want me to know about you, but when the other person that I trust tells me the same thing, I have a tendency to believe that is more authentic, right? And so I think advisors that leverage kind of those third-party validations in order to tell their story, that already gives them an edge. And then now we look at it as part of like an overall content strategy, which I know is 100% up your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
But wanting to have that earned media component as part of a content marketing strategy has helped advisors really stand out and bring unique, content to their viewing audiences.
Oh yeah, right? Absolutely. And I know from experience, it helps tremendously with SEO. If you're in the news somewhere, that like people pay just to get their name somewhere in the news just to help with SEO. So it's a great,
I think that's one of the big, exactly. It's that exposure, that credibility, but it lasts. That's what I think is so beautiful about working with the media. You can go pay for a digital ad or a sponsorship, maybe like an advertorial. I don't see a lot of those coming up like in organic searches, right?
Right.
But every time you have participated in a earned opportunity, those are the things that would come up if somebody was to search your name. So
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. All right. So you spend all this time working with the news, getting people in the news. How have you seen advisors drop the ball after receiving media exposure?
A couple of ways. So I think the biggest thing for advisors to recognize was a couple. First, working with the media comes in a lot of different shapes and forms, right? So there's the creating the news. So you're doing something that's news driven, right? And you're getting coverage for that. Typically that's pretty timely, and it's tied into the right now, what you're doing. The other way is supporting the news. And so this is what we believe is an effective way for advisors to get that consistency and exposure. So now this is you lending your knowledge, your years and years of training, right, to the media so they can do their jobs, report on financial topics. So just recognizing those are big differences. The latter, the resource ones, have an extremely long shelf life. So where advisors drop the ball is it's not a one-time event. It's not you appear in the news and you just hope that the people you want to see are actually going to tune in and see it that day, right?
Right.
It's something that you would need to leverage as the advisor, as a business owner, to get the most miles out of it.
Now let's talk about the opposite of that, of what strategies have you seen be successful with an advisor who's active in the press?
You got to tell your people. You got to tell your people, in 100 different ways, right? Like, there are so many things that you could be doing before, during, and after an interview. So just to maximize the timeliness of it, but then also in perpetuity, really, as long as the information you're sharing with media is something that could be relevant, even a year from now, it's still appropriate to share it. Now, where I draw the line there is if you're like giving input on what happened in 2008 and you're trying to use that as the advice that you're giving to people today, that doesn't help build that credibility, right? So making sure that, if you are sharing media on an ongoing basis, that it is something that you would be talking to your clients about now.
How do you feel about awards that are like older awards? Like, let's say I won something in 2021. Do you think it's still relevant to have that on my website, even though we're in 2024?
I think, there's no hard, fast rule here. Like, I have advisors that were advisor of the year when Senior Market Advisor magazine was around, getting that recognition at some point. I mean, maybe it's you drop the year at some point, but I think that if that's the only thing that you're using to build that credibility, to me personally, it's like, well, why has it been 15 years since somebody what have you done wrong since then? So I think there is certainly a window to that. But yeah, some of those things I think can last for a while.
What about existing media? How can an advisor use that to gain new media opportunities?
So a couple of leveraging strategies that I had wanted to share with you today is, the ramp up before an interview, the day the interview takes place, and then the after the things, right? But then going forward, there's just a lot of different ways to tell that story. And as I know your audience knows, a lot of different platforms to use, right? So, using the opportunity to notify your database that you've appeared here. Of course, all over your social. And it might not just be the link, it might be your experience about the link. It may be you sharing the story, and then your office sharing the story, and then your colleagues sharing a story, and everybody's, kind of tagging each other on it. We certainly see people use it as part of like workshops, live workshops again. Like they're having this information running like on a slide deck when people are walking in the room. Right. That's this precedent that you're getting, as seen in Wall Street Journal or whatever it may be, right? That these are places that you've lended that expertise, and the audience certainly is in for a treat on that. The drip marketing, newsletters, all of the different ways that you're going and getting it out there. Another one that I really like too is in the office. So like having it on the TV, like,
oh yeah,
or even like the digital frames, we've seen advisors using those and just kind of flipping through, the different places that you've appeared. And it can be your own candidates on, when you're being interviewed, or it can be, part of the article itself, but just a lot of creative ways, however you're communicating.
I think I've even seen someone do it on their office window, like on the outside. So like as you're walking up to the office, and it's like as seen on
There you go.
all the different places.
Yep.
Do news organizations like to quote someone who's been in the news before? Like, is that a leverage point?
Yes and no. Okay, so like if you think about it, like NBC doesn't cover ABC's news. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so like if you're the go-to person for one channel, it doesn't mean that like the news isn't going to cover that necessarily. But knowing that you have experience certainly absolutely 100% helps as you build up in the kind of exposure you're looking for. This is particularly true with TV. So if your aspirations are to be, on a national cable channel, you have to go through, the different steps and have the experience to be ready, if you will, for something like that. And then, a lot of the credible, like bigger media outlets will do their own searches. Like it's their reputation too, if they're quoting somebody. And so doing a search, and they know, each other, but doing a search, seeing that you've appeared in media opportunities certainly does help, but we are looking for a variety. It's not that they're going to be covering the same topic you did over here.
Honestly, as we're talking about this, I'm like, I don't know if I would want to be an on-call person for the news. Oh, that sounds so stressful. I like to be prepared.
And that's actually a really great point. And this kind of goes back to the create the news, support the news. Okay. So what I mean by support the news is it's like national news stories. Like, what does this mean to like the average consumer? A lot of times it is calendar driven versus breaking news driven. Now, breaking news driven can happen. Like the market drops 1,000 points today, like, and they want to talk to you. Like that is a gift for them to call on you, and that sort of, tight turnaround. But a lot of times we can see in advance. Like we know taxes are going to happen in April. Like we know that, end of year financial planning, end of year investments, like there are things that we can certainly plan in advance. And there's a ton of media that covers personal finance topics. And so for those, you would have an opportunity to be prepared, for the interview itself.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyone else who has the same emotions as me.
I know it can be, especially advisors that are meeting with clients. It's a big ask if you have to juggle around your schedule for really tight turnarounds. But that's not the case. That's the exception, at least for the advisors and how we work with them. Not the rule.
Okay, you just mentioned something, how we work with them. So let's talk a little bit about the relationship between both of our specialties, digital marketing and PR, and how we both help advisors. And I'd love to start out with you explaining what it is you do for advisors and the services that you offer.
Okay. Yes, no, we're the full package together for sure. So, I would say that PR is a branding tool, right? And it's working to get you that authority, that credibility, but you need a full plan in order to have that equate to new clients and new assets under management, right? So the way that we structure our services is quite different than perhaps other traditional finance or PR firms that people have worked with in the past. So our focus is 100% on advisors, and it's resource driven, and we're looking for consistency. So if you're touting yourself as a media resource, a go-to resource, and you're only doing it once here and once there, like it's not as effective as like a consistent cadence. And so we've packaged our PR programs. They're all a little bit different just based off of where you are as a professional, the quantity of media that you're looking to work with, the types of media. So is it TV? Is it radio? Is it podcast? Is it print? Is it digital? Right.
Right.
And then so the two most popular is our Media Blitz. That one works to get advisors an interview one per month with national print or online media, and it's always tied into a topic that you specialize in. So it's not just us going in a grab bag, like, here's a topic, hurry up and prepare. It's very structured up front, like it's making sure that we fully understand the advisor's expertise. We create media materials that showcase that expertise. They sign off, compliance signs off, and then we use that in order to create the opportunities.
I just popped it open because I know that you have 3 different ones.
Yes.
So Media Blitz. Okay. This is the one that, can you go over that again?
Yes, thank you. And this is all at our website, AdvisorPR.com. And I think we're going to put that in the show notes.
Up somewhere. I don't know. It's in a QR code up at the top.
It'll be there. Yes. So the Media Blitz, it works so up front, we create the media one-pager, you approve, compliance approves, we're off to the races starting in month 2. This is where we're pursuing national print and online media only, right? And we work until we hit 1 media interview per month on a topic that's going to move the needle for you, right? Like on a topic that you specialize in.
Okay.
And again, it's like the calendar based, like all of that we're pursuing. So that gets you the 1 interview per month. We deliver that to you along with the link, as well as suggestions on how to leverage it. Like that's part of like the deliverable. Of course, digital is highly integrated into that. So, that's anyways. The next one is the In the News. This one works to create 2 interview opportunities per month. And this one incorporates local media. So, a lot of advisors want to be seen where their clients live, right?
Yeah.
And so this pursues TV, so local TV, radio, print, online, multimedia that's specific to the area. And then in addition, we pursue national print online and some multimedia, meaning the podcast, the digital TV, like a longer format. Right.
Gotcha. Yeah.
We work until we hit the 2 per month up front. In this one, the media materials that we create are a bit more expansive in the sense that it's a media kit. So there's, your bio, there is kind of your signature stories. Like if you had your preferences, like what are like the 3 big things that you would want to be speaking to? We build all those out, boilerplates. Again, our objective is to get sign off and like aligned approval with the advisor, compliance, and our team. So we always want to be sure, you can use it, when we're creating these opportunities for you. So starting in month 2, we're working to hit 2 per month, and we can skew it. If local's more interest, we can put the emphasis there. If national, if you want podcast over print, whatever it may be, but we can scale it a little bit in order to meet those objectives.
Yeah.
And then our spotlight, it's for the advisor that has aspirations to work with national TV someday, right? And so
look at that. That's a whole lot more check marks.
it's a whole lot more. So this one's more of a pathway, right?
Yeah.
So
okay.
It's a pathway to get you to where you want to be in terms of national TV ready. And kind of how we spoke to before, like you have to go through the layers and the steps in order to build a reel and to have the experience necessary to work with a Fox Business or a CNBC or whatnot.
Yeah.
So this is really working at the beginning with like, what are those end objectives? Where do you want to be? What do you want to be seen for? And then putting together a full plan and, kind of the steps we need in order to get you there. But at the outcome, this is a 12-month commitment. The other ones are more of a month to month, really. But this, at the outcome at the end of the 12 months, we would have gotten you national broadcast ready with at least your first broadcast, national broadcast, to be able to share. So
yeah, that's pretty good.
We're getting you ready to go.
You know what? I love that you do it because I hate doing it.
I've got an amazing team. Like we've got, former news anchors on staff, and so it's an enjoyable process for sure. I've been doing it for so long now. I feel like it's our mission, man. We got to help people that need to hear it from the right people that know what they're talking about.
Yes. So. How long does it take typically from creating the assets to getting in the news the first time?
So the first month is material development and approval.
Got it.
Then month 2, again, we specialize only in financial advisors, and working with them. So starting in month 2, you're getting those placements, those interview opportunities.
Awesome. Okay. That's amazing. So, Alana here, she gets you in the news. And then on my side, as I've already stated, I do not like doing PR. So we don't specialize in getting you earned media. We specialize in promoting. So she gets you on and we help promote. And in fact, today I'm unveiling a new service that we made specifically for AdvisorPR. And it's called PR Promote. Let me pull that up. Scan that QR code.
Yep.
Yes. So we take your earned media press appearances and promote them in 3 social media posts, in an email announcement, in your email signature, and on your website. And that would be for each piece of earned media that you're getting. So this is a great plug and play opportunity for those starting out in their PR journey, or if you've got that existing media that you'd like to get full mileage out of, like we were talking about. Hey, I got in the news, but then nobody knew it.
Yeah. You got to tell people. That's part of it.
So I think the two of us is like the perfect marriage if you're looking to establish credibility. Of course, supercharge that SEO, solidify your expertise, and ultimately grow your business, right?
Yep.
What would you add, Alana, to like, hey, advisors, if you're thinking about getting into PR media, I guess would be the term. If you're thinking about getting into media, think about this. Or if you've already got something existing, consider doing this. Or maybe even in the relationship between digital marketing and PR.
Yeah. No, I'm so glad you asked, because I think if I had the opportunity, I do. When I talk to advisors, I say, so it's 100%. It's designed to build the authority, credibility, visibility, searchability, which we say ultimately turns into profitability. But it's just one spoke in that wheel, right? And you've got to have kind of the engine, like everything in place, or at least an idea or Kelly, on how you're going to do this in order to maximize that exposure. Okay. So you have to incorporate it into the other strategies that you're doing. So if you're big into lead generation, like having this added layer is extremely helpful. Or even so, if you're doing even print mailers, which I know advisors are still doing, if somebody's Googling your name, like this is going to help with that process. But the purpose, like you need to have like the database in place. Like, how are you going to get this out? Does your compliance view this as a one-time event, so you get approval on the PR up front, or is now this become a marketing piece where you need approval a second time? So there's things like that you need to think through, but do it and partner with the people that can help you, because having this as part, like this is the hardest part in terms of like the content to source to get.
Yes.
And so having kind of that turnkey, like what are you going to do, once you have it, to get the most out of it, I think is absolutely critical for you to, you feel it, you got to see it. I understand.
Right.
So that's where I'm excited too.
I think that earned media has exponential opportunity to establish credibility, which is so important in financial services, because, obviously you're not going to hire a financial advisor you don't think is reliable.
No. And like, missing information these days, I feel like is almost as bad as no information. Like if nobody else is saying that you're good, like we're such a review centered society now that missing reviews. Like, you think of Amazon when you go buy something, like, oh, no
Right.
reviews. Yeah, like, I don't,
Yeah.
so there's just that
Yeah.
connection now. So I definitely,
Influence. Yep.
thinking that having that game plan in place to get the most of it
Yeah.
is going to be
Yeah.
critical to the long-term success.
This was awesome. Thank you so
Good.
much, Alana. I really
Thank you.
appreciated having you on today.
It's
And for our visitors, again, the QR code is up above my head. I always have to figure out which way it's supposed to point. And that will
Yep.
take you to Alana's page that we were sharing earlier. She's also on LinkedIn if you'd like to connect with her.
Yes. And FPA. I know this is where we met
Yeah,
before,
it is.
but we did put together a turnkey, like pretty robust media training course through FPA that's
Yeah.
available. Not only it's members and
Yeah.
non-members. It's a nominal fee to be able to see it, but it's everything soup to nuts to get you to feel comfortable about working with media.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
This
so it's
is
there too.
streaming on the FBA's channel. So for people watching on those channels, where can they find that inside of the FBA?
I believe it's within the educational. I'm gonna put that link within there as well.
Perfect.
It's their courses essentially, so you
Okay.
can scroll through. You can see the different courses, and it's all about maximizing, working with the media.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So everyone go check that out. That sounds like a great resource. And again, thank you, Alana.
Thank you. It's good seeing you.
You too. So make sure you check out our new PR Promote service and then join us next week as we are talking with Nate Hoskin, who was the Kitsch's Advisor Marketing Summit speaker, specifically about perfecting your video prospect pipeline with short form videos. So come find out how Nate did it and grew his business. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but he went from 0 to a lot. It'll be a great informative meeting, and that's next Monday. And I'll see